to share my screen real quickly. I posted in the chat the YouTube channels for two channels. One is the Courage Pays Better Than Fear podcast that I do with fellow Replace Your University OG. He's one of the originals, Edmund Fontana, business partners with Michael Lush, Matt Workman, and Derek Waltz. The podcast is a lot of fun. Edmund and I have been away for a bit. We have a special 2-part episode coming up this weekend, but I put that link in there. If you're looking for discussion around entrepreneurship, real estate trading, and just self-improvement, becoming a better person, check out that podcast. You can click on that link. And if you want to help us boost our subscribers, click on it, subscribe to the channel, share with your family and friends. We would appreciate it. Also linked there in the chat is the Replace Your Dollar YouTube channel, where we are, sorry, got a message there. We are posting the boot camp videos. So if you missed part of it, or if you want to rewatch it, you have access to that in the YouTube channel. So you can click that. If you want to share it with your family and friends, please do so. And I was thinking about this today. The fact that you're here, you're participating in the boot camp, this is going to be a total of almost 7 hours, right? Over these 5 days, it's almost going to be 7 hours that you're investing in yourself, learning how to trade, right? If you're making it all the way through these 5 days, and I know some of you, there are things that have come up, you weren't able to make it on a certain night, but you're watching the video. But if you're already putting this much time in, it would be a huge waste of your time, energy, and resources to not continue your journey of learning how to trade and invest. So props to you for putting the time in, almost 7 hours. You're going to be here on a Friday night talking trading. You could be out. Some of you might say, yeah, I'm not going to be there. Those funded accounts aren't worth that much to me. But you could be here, put in an hour, and then go out. Maybe you'll be celebrating a $100,000 trading account, right? But anyway, just want to give you kudos for the fact that you're here 5 days. That says something about the type of person you are. So shout out to all of you on that. Just want to go into the chat here. I asked for, something that you improved at, got better with today. Billy says eating better. Stacy, leadership, focusing on the facts, not all the color people add to a situation. Wade says his outlook on life, $13 trillion. Yes, I can easily take my little slice of that pie. Absolutely. The link to watch the videos, I posted it in there. Got better at reading charts, smart home automation, worked on trading in my IRA, reading charts. So there's just so much here. Want to thank you for that. I finished up a book today, so I'm an avid reader. So I read books, right? Paper books, but I also am a big audio booker, if that's even a term. And I finished a book today that was recommended to me by a friend. His name's Glenn at the Abundance Conference. What a game-changing book. I actually posted it in my Facebook. It had such an impact on me. So check that out if you're a reader, or even if you're into audiobooks. It's great stuff. Again, that is called Buy Back Your Time. And I think it's Dan Martell, but you can check it out in my Facebook. Okay. So, remind me, I got to hit the SPY chart too, because I was talking to you guys a little bit about SPY and the CPI report. All right, we're going to jump in here. Replace Your Dollar Bootcamp, day 3. It is Wednesday, and it's Wednesday, WINS day, right? We rename it, shirt from our friends over at Real Life Trading. Jeremy Newsom, the man, the myth, the legend, my coach, still my coach and mentor. He talks about the importance of words and how we label things and what we call things. So he renamed Wednesday for traders. It's Wednesday, right? So a lot of wins were to be had on this Wednesday if you were trading. Today, we are going to get into support and resistance. It is an essential concept. We're going to talk about identifying the trend of stocks. We're going to look at a specific type of candle shape, which is known as a hammer, and how to use them for entries. And then we're also going to do a little practice quiz for Friday's giveaway of the $100,000 account and the $50,000 funded account. So before we get into that, just a quick review of what we covered yesterday. Backing up here, we talked about what a stock is. We went into the differences between day trading, what a candlestick chart is, how to read the chart. We talked about line charts and how that's typically what's presented to us in popular media, why we use candlestick charts over line charts. We talked about how to set up a bullish trade, a bearish trade, how to short a stock, what swing trading is versus investing. And I told you that everybody in the world needs to day trade, swing trade, or invest. And I had this epiphany. And I actually started a new little side project with the Replace Your Dollar Cash Cast podcast. I'm into podcasting, but as I was doing, I've been having moments like this the last few months. But I know my mission in life now, that my primary mission always, forever, first and foremost, will be to be the best husband and father I could be. That's number one. But number two, I want everybody to trade. I want everybody to trade. And here's why, because I've seen and I'm experiencing how it's impacted my life for the positive, and I want to share that with everybody else. And so if I could deliver value to people through that model, through that mechanism, I used to do it as a high school principal and as a teacher. I want to do it now financially for people who maybe don't believe that they could do it or feel that they don't have the resources. I want to show them that it's possible. And oh yeah, what is possible in the markets is just incredible. So now, you know, if anybody asks you, hey, what's this Jeremy guy about? You know, my two missions, very clear: family and trading. That's it. That's the two. I've got clear focus, and I tell you what, that's a great feeling to know what you want. So feel very fortunate and blessed for that. So that's what we went over yesterday. Today, we are going to get in, like I said, support and resistance, identifying trends, hammers, how to use those for trade entries. We'll do a little practice quiz. And I wanted to share this with you. So you see a set of numbers here. And this is, again, I said at the outset of this boot camp that you need to unlock your mind, let go of limiting beliefs during these 5 days. All right. So what I have here is, on average, if there's 252 trading days during a year, right? And if you make $50 those 252 trading days, which I can tell you is not very difficult at all, that's an additional $12,600, right? Super doable. Bump that up. Let's say you do that $50 every day for a year. Let's say that next year you're in no rush, you're taking your time, right? You bump it up, you set your target at $100 a day. That's 25,000, a little over 25,000 a year. You do that for a year, and then you bump it up to 200. It's 50,000. Then you say, you know what? I've got 3 years under my belt. I'm really going to knock this thing up. You go to 400. It's 100,000, over 100,000. Then you get really confident. You're 4 years in. You're like, man, I got this, right? 800 a day, right? I can tell you these numbers, to me, I used to look at these and be like, wow, that's a lot. $800 a day. That's a lot. 1,200 a day, 252 days, 302,000. Here's what I could tell you. These numbers here on the screen, I've made all these in a day. And I've talked to you a little bit about some of the numbers that I'm hitting now daily, but that doesn't even scratch the surface. But the reason I share this with you is because, and I'll say this every time I'm talking about trading, what you put into the market, what you're willing to invest in it, what you're willing to practice, study, learn, repetition, these numbers are available to everybody. Okay? I mean, just think, what could you tell me this? Would an additional 12,000 a year benefit you right now? Would that be helpful to you? Throw it in the chat. Just a yes or no. Absolutely. Yeah. 12,000. That's a nice chunk of change, right? That could be a down payment on a house, a vehicle. You could take that $12,000 and what you're learning here and invest it and grow it long term, right? But these numbers are achievable. This is doable, ladies and gentlemen. Allow yourself to think about what's possible through the markets. We're going to talk more about that here tonight. I keep putting this in here too, because in the response so far, the number of you who have set up discovery calls, I want to keep putting this in here. Some of you have emailed me for the link, so I want to drop this in the chat as we go along. I'll do it now and I'll do it later. But if you are finding that this is resonating with you, that you have a desire to learn more, if you're picking up these concepts quickly, if this is making sense, schedule a discovery call. I would love to talk to you more about trading, more about investing, what your situation is and how this can fit into your life. Or if you've got the mindset like me where you'd like to go all in on this, let me know, set up a call, and I'd love to talk to you more about trading. All right. Remember, trading, it's an investment in yourself, in your family. It is not a get-rich-quick scheme. And anybody who tells you that you're going to make a ton of money right away, you're going to make $100,000 your first month of trading, run as far away from those people as possible, because it's number one, it's probably a scam. And number two, you're going to lose all your money, right? Remember, trading is a skill just like anything else. If you invest your time in it, you practice, you prepare, you're going to grow, you're going to improve. And just like those little wins we talked about today, you stack those wins, those small improvements on each other, you'll see the power in what can happen, right? And really, I'm an example of how you're able to reclaim your time, get it back, achieve financial freedom. So for some of you thinking, you know, it's too late for me to start this. It's never too late. In fact, it's too late for you not to start this, right? You've made this 5-day commitment. Stick with this. You can make it happen. It will change your life. All right. Before we get into the rest of the presentation, I mentioned yesterday that a new inflation report was being released and that it was going to drive the markets. And I want to show you the volatility that occurred today. And whenever we're trying to get a feel for the overall markets, what we look at is the SPX, the S&P 500, right? This is the top 500 most profitable companies. And so let me get rid of all these lines here, so we're not overwhelmed. But you could see, so this is where the SPY closed yesterday, right here. The inflation number came out decently well. It was an improvement over the previous month by 0.01% or 0.1%. It was very small. And so we had this big gap up. Look how high we jumped. We jumped from, let's see here, for 41.19 up to 41.54. So there was a nice pop, right? And I said that there would be volatility, right? What traders have been looking for is this move to 4,200, right? This is a resistance area we're looking to get back into, above, push through it, and try to get back into the next bull market. Well, guess what? It wasn't strong enough to maintain that area. And then what you had was this big sell-off that came. And look at this thing. It just dropped. Boom. Right? Lots of volatility there. Could you have made money on this move down? Yes or no? Based on what you've learned so far? Yes, by shorting, absolutely. Could you have, and let me pull this up, could you have made money on this little pop right here to the upside? Yep, absolutely right. So I mean, literally, you could have traded all these movements. And then what you'll see here at the end of the day, the market did rally. We got a double bottom pattern here. This is a bullish signal. It indicates a reversal of the trend, and we climb back up. And now, so I'm going to preview something that we're going to talk about later tonight. If we go to a daily chart and pull this up. So again, this is SPY. This represents the overall market. You can see we have the beastly best candle, my favorite candle in the whole entire world here, that this today, it closed as a hammer. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the hammer candle, and it is the king of all candles because it indicates buying pressure. Do you see this long lower wick? This tells us that people are buying. So quite possibly, now we don't know because nothing is ever 100% certain in the market. Jeremy Newsom has a quote where it says, it works, just not all the time, right? That's where you have to protect yourself. But this hammer, typically when you have a hammer, you get a move to the upside. So tomorrow could be the day where we get into that 4,200. Or maybe it's Friday. Maybe we get a little bit of a jump tomorrow and then Friday pushes us through. But this is a bullish sign. We'll have to see what works. Now, it very well could do this tomorrow. We don't know. But reading the charts, understanding the candlesticks, the patterns, that's what helps you make the best informed decision about how to trade it. And we're going to get into that more tonight about how to read those charts, what the sentiment is, what the trend is, so that you could make the best trade decisions possible. Okay. So I'm coming back here. I'm actually going to skip over this. So we are going to start by talking about support and resistance. Am I still on here? Did I close this out? Or wait, I didn't share it. I got to share it. That would help. I knew something was off. Okay. So we are going to talk about how stocks move. So we know that stocks do one of two things. They move up or down, and sometimes they do move sideways. When they're sideways, we don't trade it. We stand on the sidelines. What that's known as is a period of consolidation or chop, sideways action, accumulation. You'll hear a bunch of different terms for that, okay? And what we want to pay attention to as traders. Now, listen, I'm about to drop one of the most important things on you about trading, day trading, swing trading, and long-term investing. And we went over it a little bit yesterday, and it's support and resistance, okay? Support is where a stock stops moving downwards, right? Remember, going down is bearish. Resistance is where a stock stops moving upwards, and remember, going up is bullish. And I do have some old slides on here about support and resistance, but I'm just going to go right into the charts because I think it's better to look at live charts, or at least charts from today. So I'm going to share my trading view with you again. And I'm going to go back to Apple because we already looked at this and talked about this a little bit in terms of support and resistance. All right. There's my Steelers colored candles. Yes. Don't forget, tomorrow the NFL releases the schedule. If you are an NFL fan, I won't be watching because I'll be with all of you, but I'd much rather be here. So support and resistance. We're going to talk about resistance first. Okay. So we see, and we talked about this area yesterday, resistance is where a stock stops moving upwards, and it's a range. It's never going to be exact. And that's one thing you have to keep in mind with trading. It's an art and a science. It's not just one exclusively. So you could see here on Apple, when it hits this area, this price area, like it does here, it typically pulls back. It hits this area, it pulls back. It hits this area, it pulls back. It gets into this range, it pulls back. We're coming up into this range right now on Apple right here as we speak. We can forecast with not 100% certainty, but with historical evidence to lead us to believe that Apple once it hits this price range, is going to pull back. Using this information, you could trade Apple short, right? These resistance areas are critical because they help you set profit targets on bullish trades. So if let's say this area right here, the stock has dropped, right? And it keeps going down. You know, this is a support. It's bounced and now it's starting to climb. When you see it in this range and you know it hasn't hit this resistance in a while and it's climbing, you could set up a bullish trade with a target near that resistance. That's what resistance gives you. It gives you an idea of where the stock is likely to hit before it pulls back down. Okay? That is resistance, and it's critical in trading. All right? Support is just the flip. It is where a stock stops moving downwards. So if we take a look here at Apple, we see that it will fall, hit this area, and typically bounce. Fall down into this range, bounce up, fall back down, bounce up. Come back down, bounce up, come back down, bounce up, come back down, bounce up. You get the picture, right? Using that information, you could identify if you're in on a short trade, and this is a daily chart, so we would use this for a short. And let's say you've got this downward movement here, and your chart analysis tells you that you should set up a short in this area. Well, knowing that this is a support and typically where the stock bounces upwards, guess where you're going to set your profit target? In this range. And check this out. To be conservative and to give yourself a greater probability of hitting your target, you could even move it up, right? So your support area helps you set your target profit target on a short. Okay? Support and resistance helps you plan out and execute your trades, right? And like we talked about yesterday, it can help you identify those areas if you're investing long-term where you should buy the stock at a good value at those prices where it typically doesn't go any lower, and where to sell those shares at a resistance where it typically doesn't go any higher. You repeat that, and that's how you make significant gains on your portfolio. So ladies and gentlemen, that is support and resistance. And what I will continue to stress to you is it may be the most important concept in trading. It's simple, but it works. Now, this is Apple. Let's go to, let me pick something else here. Let's go to Microsoft. Had a couple nice wins last week on Microsoft. There are support and resistance areas on Microsoft. Here's a resistance right here. Here is another resistance right in here. Here's a support level right here. Here's another support level, right? We could see hits in this area, pulls back, hits in this area, pulls back, hits in this area, pulls back, right? Drops down in this area, bounces up, drops down, bounces up, drops down, bounces up, right? We come down to these lower areas, drops down, bounces up, drops down, bounces up. Over here, drops down, bounces up, drops down, bounces up. You can find support and resistance on any chart. And you're identifying it on daily charts for swing trades. When you break this down to a 3-minute chart, so when we're day trading, what you can do is compress the days on your chart so you have a few days of data or even up to a week. And then you're able to draw recent support and resistance on your chart. So here we see areas where Microsoft hits, bounces, hits, bounces, hits, bounces, hits, bounces, hits, bounces. It's like a song, right? And we see some resistance areas. Now, check this out. Microsoft got into this range last Friday. I was actually in on a trade on Microsoft last week in the RV of all places. And we see that now it's poking its head above that resistance area. One thing to keep in mind, when you get a strong close above a resistance, typically what you get is a bigger move to the upside. All right. So we're going to want to watch Microsoft over these next few days because it could run higher because it broke this resistance. All right. And if we go back to this daily chart, check this out. Look how cool this is. We know that there's a resistance here. If this thing's going to break out, we know that this could potentially be a profit target on Microsoft. So the charts tell us how to trade. We're not just saying, oh, this sounds good. We take what the charts tell us, we interpret it, we study it. That's how we trade. All right. Let me go back to this 3-minute and let's look at these support areas that exist here. So we have this support line. The same thing applies to support. Whenever you get broken support and a strong close below it, let's say that it closed way down here, typically you get a bigger move to the downside, right? These are support levels for a reason. The bulls won't let the price go lower than this. They come in, they buy it up. So if you ever see a support broken, that's a uh-oh sign, something's up, this thing could drop. Just like the bears protect prices to the upside. The bears come in and won't let the price to get higher. Okay. But support and resistance, I'm telling you, one of the, you know what? New thing for me. I don't care. Support and resistance, to me, most important concept in trading. I said it. I believe it because it resonates in my trading. What questions do you have about support and resistance? Go ahead and throw those into the chat. All right, none. That's good. I'm giving some wait time. So as my former education life, you're supposed to give 3 seconds of wait time is appropriate. Are supports and resistance often broken? Yeah, they're broken all the time. It's the really strong resistances and supports that when they get broken, that's where you typically get the big move. So like that 170-ish area on Apple that we're currently getting into, we see that the price has hit there about 6 times and it hasn't broken through. Whenever you shoot through that one and you get a strong close, that thing is going to run. All right. And it would be the same thing to the downside. If you have a support where it's getting hit a lot and you get a strong push through that, it could tank, right? How long do you look at data for just a few days or longer? So for my day trades, I do look at long-term support and resistance, but typically what I'll do is compress, like I said, 5 to 7 days up to a week, sometimes more on those 3-minute charts. So I have relevant support and resistance information. Where do we get these charts that show support and resistance? So your support and resistance isn't on the charts. There are indicators that you can add, but you want to get a TradingView account. And let me just throw this in the chat here, www.tradingview. I got to be able to spell tradingview.com. Set up a free account. You can upgrade when you're ready. But it's an awesome program. You're able to do all the charting yourself. Okay. And literally what you do is you come over here to the trend line tools. You'll click on this arrow, pick the horizontal line, drop it, and then you could drag it to where you're identifying support and resistance. They do have indicators that will identify support and resistance for you. I don't use them because, again, I like to be in control of my price areas. But if that's something that speaks to you, that is available. Like if I go in here and click on indicators and I look up support and resistance. Yep, support and resistance. And I click on that, you'll see. Now, again, I don't use these, so I can't speak to these. But they are available. Okay. Again, support and resistance, ladies and gentlemen, most important. Most important. All right. Let's see. Again, none of my links are coming through. Oh, it's not coming in? Oh, okay. Here we go. Let's see. There we go. Let me try this now. Oops. Sorry, guys and gals. Can you see that? All right, man. Failure on my part. Let me grab these YouTube channels. Okay, so the discovery call link that I dropped too didn't come through. Here's the discovery call link. There's that one. And let me find the YouTube channels. Thank you for pointing that out to me. All right, so here's the Replace Your Dollar YouTube channel. There. And the Courage Pays Better Than Fear. See that? I get so excited. I start talking about this stuff and I'm chatting with myself. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see. All right. So we're seeing the links. We got the links. Okay. Good. Any other questions on support and resistance? Okay. I'll take that as a no. All right. So yes, I would encourage any of you who are interested and are going to continue to pursue this, go sign up for a free trial version of TradingView, tradingview.com. It's a 30-day free trial. It's relatively inexpensive to upgrade your package. If you're going to do this though, you're going to want to have a premium version. I think it's like $12.99 a month. Every year in November, Black Friday, they do a 50% off sale where you can buy a subscription for 2 years. They'll retroactively apply that discount, but you're going to want to have TradingView. So go ahead and get that set up. All right. So let me stop share there. Let me come back over here to the presentation, share. All right. So come back to the slideshow. And so we went through support and resistance. So remember, support and resistance can help you identify profit target areas, where to put your stop losses. We're going to talk more about stop losses, profit targets, entries, how to actually set up the trades tomorrow night. So we'll get into that, but you're using support and resistance to do that. All right. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is what's the trend? How do we know what the trend is? Right? Is it bullish or is it bearish? Remember, bullish going up, bearish going down. And it's relatively simple. We're going to look at the candlesticks and see how they're moving. Are they moving upwards? Are they moving downwards? Right? And we want to trade in alignment, in harmony with the trend. Okay? You don't want to fight against the trend in the market, because what the market's going to do is say, thank you for your money and have no heart for you. So you visually identify the trend by looking at the chart. So let's just go again. Let's look at some charts, because if this is what you're going to do, you need to get used to looking at these things. So let me share my screen once again, and let's pick another stock. Let's get some variety here. Let's go look at Roblox. This is a cloud gaming company. I have it on here because my kids like Roblox, and I do have some long-term positions in it. But let's just take a look here at Roblox and the candles. And let's look at this area right here. What would be this trend in this area? Is this bullish or bearish? Put it in the chat. Bullish. Yep. It is a bullish trend, right? So we know as this thing's popping up, we've got these big bull candles. We're looking to trade it bullish. Now, check this out. With your knowledge of support and resistance, right? And Roblox is a relatively newer company, but it's making all-time highs here, right? You see that? It pushes up, it hits this area here, it drops back down, it pushes up, it tries to get back to this area, but it can't, it drops back down. It pushes up, it tries to get back up there, but it can't. So we know that this is somewhat of a resistance area, right? So once you make this high here and it pulls back and it tries to push up again and pulls back, is this bull trend still in play, or has the trend now changed? Or is it changing? Put it in the chat. It's changed, right? So just visually looking at the chart and seeing it hit into that resistance area and fell and pull back down, you're going to say to yourself, I think the trend is now reversing and we're looking bearish. And what happened on Roblox? What type of trend is this? Put it in the chat. Bearish. Absolutely. It's bearish. So what we're going to do now, remember, this is a daily chart. You're going to look at your daily charts to identify the overall trend and how to trade it. So when you're in a bearish trend here, not that you can't trade bullish, because in this area here, you do get a little bit of a bounce. But overall, when you see this drop, you're looking for shorts, right? There is a saying, and this may or may not be on the quiz on Friday, that the trend is your friend in trading. You always want to trade with the trend. Me personally, my experience, anytime I try to what they call counter trend trade, and I try to go against the trend, it does not work out well for me that often. It's maybe a 20% success rate. So you know what I do now? If I think I see a setup and it's counter trend, I don't take it, right? But identifying that trend and looking at it in relation to support and resistance is going to help you make informed decisions about how to trade a particular stock. So let's go look at Roblox on a 3-minute chart. So the reason I have Roblox up here is because they recently reported earnings and they had a bit of a pop here in their price. So I'm just going to ask you some questions about what type of trend you see here. So if let's compress these days. What type of trend are we seeing here? Now, remember, each of these white slivers is a day, right? But this is a 3-minute chart. What's the trend here? Visual, just bearish. See, guys, it's not that hard. It's not that hard, right? And then what goes down must come up, right? Check this out. We're going to start putting these pieces together. Let me go to this daily chart. Let me get rid of this craziness on my screen here. Look at this. Watch this. This stuff is just so cool. I got to get rid of my marker here first. Roblox, right? I was looking at I'm on the daily, right? See this support where it came down here and bounced? What price did Roblox recently hit? Right? Now, I may or may not have purchased a lot of shares on Roblox here, right? Because it hit the support area where I could anticipate a bounce, right? And now, if we look at Roblox today on the 3-minute chart, and we look at it yesterday as well, after it hit that support, what is the trend? All right, that's not the best one, but right here, if we look at this, so this is a 3-minute today. You get a big move up, it does pull back, move up, pulls back, but then just resumes going higher. What type of trend is this? Bullish. Yeah, it's bullish trend. So you now know support and resistance. You now know how to identify the trend. You know that you don't trade against the trend. You don't counter trend trade. unless you have a unique skill for it, which some of you may, but the trend is your friend. Right? That sounds like a story. I'm going to write that storybook for kids. You know what? That might, I may have just come up with it. Anybody out there in kids book publishing, the trend is your friend. We're going to teach kids the stock market, right? I think that would sell. I really do. All right. So let's go back over here to the presentation, share. Let's see here, slideshow. So tell me this, just put your thoughts down in the chat. How can knowing the trend of the stock help you with trading it? Just in your own words. Think about it. Take a few seconds. How can knowing the trend help you in trading the stock? Yeah, Chat GPT, no kidding. All my teachers out there, I've been out of education for a little over a year now. I can't imagine how that's impacting schools. All right, so we have here, you know what ranges to look for, help you make more winning trades, trade with the trend. You have a good idea of where it's headed. So you don't buck the trend. That's right. We don't go counter trend. Knowing whether to take a longer short position. Yes, set your stop losses. You guys are awesome. You're picking this up swimmingly, right? Great job. Any questions so far on anything we've covered, support and resistance, trend? Give me a 1 if you're feeling good. All right, lots of 1s. All right, we got no counter trend, and it's all right if you are. All right, let's keep moving forward here. So here's a super easy trading strategy. We talked about the hammer, right? My favorite candle out there, hammer candle. It's powerful, right? What is a hammer candle? Well, this is it right here. Here's a bullish hammer. Here's a bearish hammer, right? It often has an upper wick. We see this tiny little wick here, right? Just pokes out, or upper shadow. Real quick in the chat, practice. What does that upper wick represent? The highest price, right? High. So Devin, if this was the quiz for those funded accounts, man, you would have just won. All right. I'm glad to see you guys are all paying attention. All right. So let's come back over here. Let me close this. So hammers have an upper wick, right? It could be bigger, but it should be in relative size to the candle body. So this is the candle body here, this rectangular shape, right? It looks like a hammer. You hold it and you nail something, right? And it has a long lower wick right here. This is a long lower wick. Long lower wicks indicate buying pressure. You have bulls coming in and they're pushing that price up. They don't want it to drop. People are excited. They're buying. Like that candle I showed you on the SPX today. There's buying pressure, which we could see a big move coming tomorrow, right? And when we see these candles, these hammers at the base of a pullback, like here in this graphic, where you got all these bear candles, it drops. When you get a hammer that comes in after a short pullback, this typically could indicate that this thing is about to go higher. All right. So let me show you this in play so you have an idea of what I mean. Okay. So if we take a look here, we have this resistance area. We're dropping down. We're coming down. We're coming down. We're coming down. And do you see a hammerish candle at the base of that pullback? It's not the best hammer, but it is a hammer-ish candle. Do you see it? Yes. Yep. And what happens after this hammer comes in here? All right, let me just circle it. So here's the hammer. We get a nice pop, and then it pulls back, and then it pops again. Now, there's another hammer here. Does anybody see it? And tell me where it's located at that gives you great confidence in a bounce coming. Go ahead and throw that in the chat. It does come in at support. 219.40. You guys are sharp. Sharp. Right here. We have this support. At support, stocks typically bounce back up. Look at this beautiful hammer candle. If you would have got in above that hammer, ladies and gentlemen, if you would have set your stop loss down here, if you would have set a profit target, let's say we're being conservative. We know this is a resistance, but let's say we're just going to split that in half. You would set your profit target here. Could you have made some money capturing this whole move? You absolutely could have. So this is a simple strategy that you can use if you see a stock pulling back to the downside, and it shouldn't be a big, massive move, and you see that hammer candle come in. That's typically a sign that this is about to bounce. Now, what I'll tell you, you want to try to find those hammers near supports, because that's something additional that confirms the strength of your setup. The more indicators that you can use to confirm your setup and your entry and your trade, the higher the probability of your trades working out in your favor. And really, so we're going through the fundamentals now of trading. The way trading works is as you learn those fundamentals and you continue your education, you're layering in different indicators. So when you look at charts, you're not just looking at support and resistance. You're not just looking at the trend. You're not just looking for hammers, but you have other things like moving averages. You may use Elliott wave. You might use what's known as the VWAP, volume weighted average price. You're using volume. All those things confirm, hey, this is a great setup. Take it and trade it. But with a few things here, you're seeing you can trade and make profitable decisions. Okay. So that's how you play a hammer. And just to reinforce, long, lower wicks, like this one. This is a beautiful hammer. This actually looks like the hammer on the SPY right now. Let's go look at it. Hang on. Let me get out of here. So I'm gonna go back to the chart just because I want to just show you this one more time. I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow. Come here, SPY, SPX, daily chart. I mean, look at this thing. Look at this hammer. Look at the buying pressure. I mean, it's incredible. It's a thing of beauty, right? I just had to show it again. I had to show it again. All right, I'll stop my share. I'll go back to the presentation. I'll quit jumping back and forth here. All right, let me come over here to share. Share. So just as that long lower wick indicates buying pressure, if you have a long upper wick like this is selling pressure. All right. So this is a hammer candle, just flip upside down. It's an inverted hammer. Now, answer me this. Here's a trivia question. Let's put your thinking trading mind to work. All right. Let's say you have a big run on a stock, right? It's moving up, and then all of a sudden at the top, it gets near resistance, and you have one of these candles come in. What does that indicate that potentially is going to happen with a high probability because it's near a resistance and because you have an inverted hammer candle? What could we expect? This is just a flip of a hammer at the base of a pullback. What could we expect to happen here? You see, It's time to short, baby. Price is going to drop. It's going down. Downturn, drop, bingo. Yep. And we could find these on charts. I'm going back to the chart because I want to show you that this is a real thing. Hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. I gotta calm down. Let me pull this up. Let me find a inverted hammer at the base of a pullback. Give me 1 second. I'm going to show you this. We'll find them because they're everywhere. Share, share, share. Okay. So let me find a rager and let's see if we can find. Oh, I see one already. So this is SPY. Big move. Boom. Do you guys see it? Now, it doesn't have a big body, but this candle is hammerish. It's inverted. Long upper wick, selling pressure. Drop city. What about this one? Let me see if I can get this over here. All right, we got a bounce to the upside. Inverted hammer comes in, selling pressure, long upper wick. Boom. Drop city. Let's go back. Let's see if I can find some more. All right, this one's not great, so I won't count that one. I'm just trying to see if I can find some textbook examples here. All right, we have this one here. Bounces up, and you got all these upper wicks indicating selling pressure. Here's your inverted hammer. Boom. Down it goes. All right. So those are two simple strategies. A hammer at the base of a pullback indicates that it's going to bounce. An inverted hammer at the top of a big bounce indicates it's going to come down. With those basic concepts, you could put together a simple trade. And what we're going to do tomorrow is I'm going to show you how to take support and resistance, the trend, a hammer setup, and we're going to construct some trades. I'm going to show you how to set an entry, and based on whatever your risk is, I'm going to show you how to set your stop loss so that you only lose X amount of dollars. I'm going to show you how to set a profit target. We're going to do some practice examples, so you're going to walk through the mechanics of how to do this. All right. So putting it all together, we covered support and resistance. We identified the trend. We've located hammers, and we went a step further. We looked at inverted hammers. We talked about pressure too. We talked about long lower wicks, buying pressure, long upper wicks, selling pressure, pushing down. Now all we have to do is put that all together and trade it. That's what we're going to do tomorrow. It's 9:08. Where does the time go? What questions do you have for me? Remember that 3-second wait time. There's always that awkward silence when you're teaching. You ask a question, you just sit there, and your students are kind of looking around like, does it matter the color of the hammer? It doesn't. It doesn't. What's the best way to start learning the software TradingView? There are a ton of tutorials and videos out there on TradingView. If you just go YouTube it, you can find a ton of information. I'm actually working on a series of videos now just with the basics of TradingView. That'll be posted on our YouTube soon, but you can find a ton of stuff out there right now. When do we get to start playing? Well, it'll be too late tomorrow. I mean, we could trade Forex tomorrow in crypto if we wanted. Maybe we will. Doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. I want to get started practicing. There's nothing holding you back. Let's see. Do you need a 25K account to open an interactive? You don't need 25K to open an interactive broker's account. Let me drop that link in here too. Because it's the best brokerage system. I do have a link, but I'm not worried about you guys using it. Interactive brokers. All right. Yeah, it's 4.58% on idle cash, and you're not going to get that return from a bank in a savings account. So there's a link for Interactive Brokers. But even if you open up account, it'll give you access to a free paper trading account where you could just trade the markets with fake money. It gives you $1 million in fake money. You could even adjust the amount that's in there. So let's say that you eventually do have a target to start trading a $30,000 account. You could set it up so there's 30K in there and replicate what it's going to be like and practice. And here's what I'm strongly for any of you who want to trade, you must paper trade, practice trade first. Now, I know you're saying, well, Jeremy, you traded real money right away. Yeah, well, I'm an idiot. Okay. You guys are intelligent. I could just tell from what you're sharing here in the chat this week. Don't make the same mistakes. Practice first. Don't be in a rush to get there immediately. Take your time with this. If you take your time with this, you practice, you prepare, you can make this happen. But set up an Interactive Brokers account. I really would encourage you to do that. Here, I'll share their homepage. Yeah, so I mean, you just go here, open an account, and it's pretty self-explanatory. What I will tell you is that you want to download the Desktop Trader because it's awesome and it will it's just super robust, quickly fills your orders, and when you sign up it'll tell you where to download it, but you definitely want to check that out. Okay, and let me see if I missed any. Do I know of Ninja Trading? I've heard of it. Let's see. If the trend is bullish and a hammer with a large upper wick comes along, is it time to sell? It could be. You want to read it in conjunction with the other candles, but it could be an indicator for sure. Can an IRA account be used to trade? Yes, a self-directed IRA can. Is Interactive Brokers the same as TradingView? No, TradingView is where you do your charting, and then you take what you're charting and you put it into the brokerage. Look at Ray John in there. Ray John is a Replace Your Dollar client. He's crushing it. And yes, you can have an app on your phone to trade with through Interactive Brokers. I love it. That's what I trade with. It's great stuff. To succeed, the trend's your friend. Follow closely until the end. Adapt, innovate, take risks with care, and reach heights beyond compare. I mean, what else can we say? Was that Chat GPT? That was Chat GPT, Tom. Noise. You guys are cracking me up. All right, real fast. Just going to come back to it. Discovery call. If you want to talk more about it, if you want to learn more about it, if this is resonating with you, if you want to learn more, there's my link. This, like I said, my mission, you know what my mission is. I talked about it more. Set up that discovery call. We could talk more about it. And before we close up here today, just to give you an overview of what we're doing tomorrow, day 4, we're going to learn how to calculate your R. That's your risk, how to set it up so you can't lose any more than what you're predetermining. I'm going to show you how to actually put an order into a brokerage system. And then I'm going to walk you through what does a month in the life of a profitable trader look like. So breaking it down to daily targets, what losses look like. We're going to get into all that. I'll share with you a little bit what the programs are that we have in place to Replace Your Dollar. And then the final day, we're going to trade. We're going to do some trades, and I'm going to show you some trades that I've taken. And really we're going to spend that night Q&A, things that you want to learn that we didn't cover, that we can dig into. And oh yes, we're going to do the quizzes for the funded accounts. So to close out, let's do a couple practice quiz questions. Is everybody ready? Yes. All right, here we go. Okay. Long upper wicks indicate what? Selling pressure. It is bearish. It's selling pressure. Perfect. All right. If a stock is dropping and it comes down to support and we see a hammer, how should we play that? long. Yep. Buy it. Long, bullish. We would go bullish. That's correct. This concept, according to Jeremy Ritz, not Jeremy Newsom, is the most important concept in trading. Gray got it first, support and resistance. 100%. True or false, the trend is your enemy. False. What do we call it when we trade against the trend? Stupid. Yes, counter trend trading, gambling. My Lord, you guys are awesome. All right. The area where a stock stops moving upwards. Resistance. Yep. And the last one, the area where a stock stops moving downwards. Support. Now, here's one. I'm going to see if you're paying attention because I didn't spend a lot of time on this. This is the area where a stock is not moving up. It's not moving down. It's just kind of doing this. Chop. Josiah, that's not fair. Because you know that one. Rajon, same thing with you. All right, great stuff. All right, guys and gals, super excited that you came out again tonight for day number 3. We've got 2 more days to go. I put my link in there one more time. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel for Courage Pays Better Than Fear. What would be great is if you could just give some feedback on the Facebook page when we're posting about the boot camp. That'd be great. Again, my mission, I told you, my second mission is to teach everybody trading. I want this to impact everybody's life like it has mine. Getting this out there is helping me do that. Replace Your Dollar has expanded and grown so much. It's incredible. We now have a team and the team is growing. And here's what I'll tell you. We have clients who have gone through the program that are now part of the team. So again, the power of the markets is available to anyone who is willing to put in the time. I am ready to drop even more knowledge on you guys tomorrow. Just super excited, super grateful. And I will say this, we did our first boot camp back in February. You guys are, I mean, it was a good audience, but this, I don't know. You guys are setting the bar. You're a lot of fun. So my gratitude to all of you out there. The video for this, I've been putting them in the Facebook group. So Replace Your University, Replace Your Mortgage. It's all there. It's on my personal Facebook page. If you haven't friended me yet on Facebook, send me a friend request. I'll add you. If you have questions, just send me a message. Shoot me an email. I'd love to answer any questions that you have. Set up a discovery call. Let me see if there's anything else I'm forgetting. The Replace Your Dollar. So let me do this real fast. Let me put the links in for the Replace Your Dollar YouTube channel and for Courage Pays Better Than Fear. So you have these. Just take these and paste them. So you have those. Subscribe. So anytime we put up new content, it's there. And have a great night and get ready for tomorrow. Good stuff coming. And Friday, 2 funded accounts, 100K, 50K could be yours. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. You're awesome. Have a great Wednesday night. And I'll see you back here on Thursday, which is practice Friday, Friday Junior, Friday Eve. You get the point. I'll see you then. Thanks so much, everybody. Take care.